Hey there lovelies and welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the title of today's video, we're going to be reacting to Maze of Memories by Stray Kids. I've heard so many good things about this one and so many people have been recommending this one to me recently. So I'm super excited to get into this and see what I can expect. But before we do, if you guys are new to the channel, then welcome and thank you for joining. Make sure you're clicking that subscribe button down below to stay up to date with what I post on this channel. And while you're at it, why not leave a little like on this video as well? It really does help me to see what you're enjoying watching so I can keep on making more videos like this. But all that being said, I am just super excited to get into this one. So let's do it. Oh, okay. I'm so curious where we're heading with this one, you know. Oh. Oh my gosh. Wow. I feel like, again, just that sense of them talking about this journey they've been on, you know, maybe that maze of memories literally being very literal to them in talking about everything they've experienced and been through to get to the point of where they are, you know, all of that pain and hurt they went through maybe, and coming out on the other side of that now having that sense of their dream, you know, just talking about having that dream, all of them harnessing that dream together and wanting to keep them pushing forward for that, but ultimately also recognizing everything that you've been through to get to where you are now and to get to the point of where you want to go. I think that is just so incredible. But the lyricism on this one is absolutely gorgeous and so like deep, I feel like, you know? Always down my current dreams. Whoa, Han. Oh my gosh. Wow, okay, so we're talking about now maybe because of everything they've been through, maybe it sort of like clouds your vision on your current dream and where you are. You know, I think that sometimes we go through so much in life and we almost like push ourselves through everything to come out the other side. And when we do, it's almost like all of a sudden you're just like completely influxed with how much you've actually been through to get to the place of overcoming it all, you know, and it's like it all just comes back and hits you in one. And I feel like that's probably very understandable in their situation, you know, because I think that going through everything they did to get to the point of where they were when they debuted, you know, I think that they probably would have almost seen time go so quickly, but also so slow at the same time. It's one of those things, isn't it, sometimes in life where you experience something and it feels like time passes so slowly, but also it goes by in the blink of an eye. And I feel like that's probably what it was like leading up to their debut for them. And I feel like it is probably like looking back on everything in that moment, you know, when you finally get to sit down for 5 minutes and be like, I went through all of that. It's like all of those feelings and emotions I feel like probably were up in you and maybe do cloud your, opinion on where you are and maybe what the future holds in a sense. I think that the future can be so uncertain anyway, but I think for them in this moment, you know, it probably was one of those things of like, how do we find that clarity and where we're going to head from here? Because it's been such like a monumental journey to get to this place. And it's like, how do we find a way of overcoming everything and overcoming, you know, all of the hurdles that are still awaiting us when we've been through so much already? That lyric from Han, though, the cold dawn on the wall shows a lonely moon and covers my face as if it was colouring me black. Even though there's all of this light and vibrancy that's happening, you know, the moon is such a bright and beautiful thing. It's like it shines in front of me, but it almost envelops me in the shadow of the darkness as well. Like, even though this is such an incredible situation to be in, and, you know, there's so much gratitude that you have for this thing, this dream that you love, it's like ultimately there are those dark sides. There are those times when you're gonna experience the shadows as well as the light, you know? This song is absolutely gorgeous. Oh my. The inside of my mind burns and fills up with question marks that blame me. Now I run for an answer that I cannot see. Oh my. Genuinely, when I tell you the lyricism from Stray Kids sometimes is some of the most powerful, in-depth, hard-hitting, emotional, and raw and vulnerable lyrics that I've ever heard. And that is what I appreciate most about them. And I think as a group, as individuals, they just always are so open and so honest with the difficulties they've been through, how they feel, and also just the emotions, just understanding and realizing that it's okay to experience all of these different emotions and relaying that within these songs and just saying to anybody who's listening, like, you know, we've been through situations where we've been through dark times too, and like we can be that comfort for you in those moments, you know. But just that the insides of my mind burns up, like with all of these questions. There's so much that's happened and so much that's gone on. You're trying to find this resolution within yourself to understand everything that you've been through. But it's like, how can you understand everything that you've been through when there's still so many unknowns of what's to come, you know? And I feel like them just talking about that sense of blame, going through such difficult times and having all of these difficult memories that you have, even though you're on such a beautiful journey in, you know, again, that sense of light and vibrancy, it is just like, how can you overcome all of the negative that you went through and all of the times that maybe you felt like you were to blame for certain things in certain situations? This song is just so like openly honest, and I think that is something that I just admire so so much about Stray Kids. Just that sense of frustration. Oh, oh my gosh, we just flipped the switch. Talking about, you know, smiling at strangers, but to yourself, you almost just have this little sigh, you know? It's almost like you try and put on a brave front for everybody who's watching on, but it's like inside you feel like you're just being so weighed down by all of this emotion, this feeling, this darkness, this hurt and pain that you've been through, that it's like you just keep on trying to put on that front, trying to make out like everything's okay, but inside you're literally hurting so much and you have so many questions, so many thoughts, so many feelings that you just keep bottling up. And it's almost like I feel like this song is just everything almost coming out all at once, you know, because you finally just being able to release that sense of this is what I feel, you know, putting it all into this song. This is everything that I feel like I'm needing to speak about, to, you know, get out, because if I don't, I'm just going to keep on constantly, you know, piling up and piling up all these things that's going to ultimately just explode if I don't have this, you know, vice in this music to be able to express all of this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like the slower my footsteps are, the more that I try and sort of slow down on this path, you know, when things feel like it's really overwhelming, the more that I try and take a moment for myself, take a breather to be able to take everything in and really just come to terms with what I'm feeling and what I'm going through. It's like I haven't got time almost to stop for a second to, you know, really draw back, because there's so much that's expected of me. There's so much that I need to do. There's so much going on around me that I feel like this strong wind's just pushing me forward, even when I feel like sometimes I'm trailing behind. There's always that force just pushing me to, you know, keep going, keep going, keep going. Even when I feel like I need a break, I feel like sometimes there's just, whether that's people, whether that's expectation, whether that's, you know, a deadline, whatever it is, there's always something that just keeps on pushing me, even in those moments when I feel like I just need a breather from everything. Just saying, I need sleep. Like, I just need to sleep for a while, just a little bit of rest. Like, I just need a moment to just be able to really overcome everything and have that sense of just peace within myself for a moment. Almost like just calling out for that, but you don't have time, you don't have the ability to have that moment, you know? gosh, it's heartbreaking, isn't it? Oh my gosh, Lino. Hold up. This is overwhelmingly amazing. I just cannot get over, number one, the flow from Han earlier on was phenomenal. Like the speed in which we were, I feel like, going through all of these emotions. It is almost like symbolizing that sense of feeling this like rush of emotions within you and not being able to stop it. You know, it's like it just is constantly going on and on and on. And I feel like now with Binny as well, Binny I feel like is coming just as fast, if not faster, with this flow. It's like, again, all of these things just constantly whirring inside of you and just not being able to almost stop it from escaping you because you've got all these feelings that just need to find a way out. But Lino for a moment there, that vocal from Lino, that like slow, almost like depth in the rap moment. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Stuck in the same time. Alright, Hyunjin. Boiling the kettle that's filled with anger. Pull it up, the anger traps me. You know, all of that just hurt and pain and anger and just all those feelings that you just want to be able to let go of. But it's like ultimately they just keep on living within you and just like boiling up and burning up. And there's just no way of letting go of them because you feel like you don't want to almost maybe be that burden to other people. So you keep like a lid on everything. And it's like the more you keep on doing that, the more these emotions just keep on like firing up within you. Oh my gosh. This is probably one of the most like emotionally raw songs that I've heard from Stray Kids. Like they have so many songs that are so beautiful within like the emotion, but I think this one is just like literally this is what I'm feeling and I need a release of this because I don't know how else I can escape these feelings other than to just put it into the music, put it into the thing that I know and love the most, you know? Yeah, fire. Lino rapping is one of my favorite things. I just love him rapping and him just saying about the devils on this road. You know, I feel like with Stray Kids, they always come back to that sense of, you know, a road or a street or a path that they've been on. And it is just like that sense of devils on this road that we've been on. Those things that have been almost like trying to bring us down or trying to maybe taunt us on this journey, but we're just not going to let up and give in to the negative energy that keeps on trying to take over us, you know? We're going to keep on pushing forward, even though sometimes there does feel like there is so much within us that wants to almost just shout out and cry out to just, you know, take us away from all of this pain. It's like ultimately this is what we want from life. We want to be able to achieve this dream, and we know that we're going to have to keep on pushing through all of these negative energies, this negative feeling to be able to get to where we want to be. But it's just like within that, we should also be able to have a space where we can just have that release of everything, have that moment to just break free, you know? Oh, hang on. The sirens? Where are we heading? The build up? I'ma look back to the future. In fact, let me examine the progress of aim as I try to suffocate the road to success. I'ma look forward into the sea. Felix, I was not ready. I was not ready. I was not prepared. Oh my gosh, wow. I'ma look back to the future. In fact, hasn't that been another one of their songs before? Where is that? But that's been in another one of the songs. I don't know if it was a Three Archer song or another song, but I'm gonna look back to the future. I remember referencing it. Was it Binny's song? It might have been one of Binny's solo songs actually, maybe Cypher. It was in one of the songs that I've heard before, and I loved that lyric so much. That's why it hit so deeply hearing it again now in this space, you know. I'm gonna look back to the future. I'm gonna harness all of this energy, all of this negative that keeps on coming at me, and I'm gonna throw it into looking into that future and knowing what's to come. You know, knowing that ultimately that end goal is with all of this. Because, you know, I've already fought so much for where I am. I'm not gonna give up on that now. I've fought so hard to be at the place where I'm at. I'm not just going to give in to all of this negativity, all of these people trying to stop us, you know? I'm look forward into the sea, oblivious sea. I call it history. Oh, what a lyric, what a bar. I just think everything about this is so like stunning, but also heartbreaking and just incredible, isn't it?
I'ma look back to the future. In fact, let me examine the progress of aim as I try to suffocate the road to success.
What is going on in that back end? So much happening.
Thunderous waves.
Thunderous
Memories I wanna see.
So should I give up? But really, can I give up? You live in a time and space so full of blinds. It makes me wanna give up.
Not gonna lie. I loved that vocal from Sungmin. I did. I think for me, one thing I constantly say is I adore Sungmin's voice. You know me, I adore Sungmin's voice. But when I hear him on the rap sections as well in the music, oh my gosh, it absolutely takes over my whole heart and soul. He is unreal. Oh my gosh.
Really, can I give up? You live in a time and space so full of blinds. It makes me wanna give up.
Ruthless lines.
I'm feeling it sad, don't wanna give up. We live in a time and space so full of blinds. No, I've had enough.
Oh wow.
Never help on this carousel. Life is like a dead or an open vet. I just wanna tell to see the Dell tree. Empire, campfire, unpile, old fire, set fire, rise higher, go wild and chase.
Chan just said, I'm gonna have all of the rhyme schemes that you can think of in one and we're just gonna go with it. We're just gonna have all the rhymes in the world and we're gonna put it into this one. Talking about feeling like you're on a carousel, you know, constantly on this merry-go-round of all of these feelings and emotions and the hurt and the pain and all of the good and the bad. It's like you're constantly on this cycle that just is never ending, you know? Empire instantly just making me think of Roman Empire right now, I can't lie. I'm sorry, Chan. But also I say this all the time in like the Three Archer moments as well, but whenever I hear Chan rapping, I feel like the Aussie really comes out and it really just makes me so excited. It does, because I love that like little Aussie tone that you hear to the rap section, but oh my gosh. Empire, campfire, umpile, old file, set fire, rise higher, go wild, chase my dream. What a absolute bundle of incredible just words, lyrics, bars right there. Absolutely inspiring, isn't it?
Campfire, unpile, old fire, set fire, rise higher, go wild and chase my dream. That's why I never give up, never give up.
Oh, Chan, I'm assuming you're on those backing vocals. I adore it. Absolutely. Unbelievably amazing. I loved this so much. Like I said with this song, I just think just the overall feeling of just constantly pushing past anything negative, all of the difficulties, all of the strives in life, and just going forward, knowing and believing in yourself despite what anybody says, what anybody thinks, or whatever you've been through, you know. Really just finding that fire within yourself to keep pushing forward for that dream. I think ending out on this song as well with Chan talking about that sense of, you know, still just pushing forward for that dream. You know, it's where they all started, where they all began, because they had that dream and that ambition for what was to come. You know, they really wanted to create this music and create this thing that could connect with people. And I think that just hearing, you know, how much they went through to be able to achieve that, I think is so incredibly inspiring, also heartbreaking, and just like, I will always say whenever I talk about Stray Kids that the one thing I'm always so grateful for is everything they all experienced and went through to be able to be where they are today. You know, I think that seeing and understanding more of who they are and their journey, and, you know, really discovering more about them as I've listened to more of their music and, you know, gone on this journey of learning more about them. I think the strength and just the absolute heart they had for everything, despite everything they went through and everything they give back to the people who've been with them always, like along the way, I think is so, so amazing. And I think for me, I find so much inspiration in just their pure determination and strength to be able to push past, like they were saying, you know, all that negativity, all those demons, all those things that you felt like you were fighting, those emotions, those, you know, feelings of darkness and loneliness. Like, it's unimaginable everything they experienced. And so I will always be so grateful for them for really continuing to push through everything and, you know, really dedicate so much of their life and their time and all of their feelings and emotions to the music they create. I think it's just absolutely amazing. But this song was phenomenal. That ending as well. I loved that ending with like Sungmin followed through with Chan. I think just, you know, Sungmin really almost contemplating like, is it worth it almost in a sense? Like, should I keep pushing forward? Should I keep going on? And then Chan just answering that with like, we're gonna keep on, you know, relighting that fire, going for that dream, going for what we want, because we're not gonna give in after everything we've been through. We've been through so much to get to where we are, and we don't want to give in. We want to keep on living this dream and going forward in knowing that we can achieve anything as long as we're together. And I think that is just like such a beautiful message. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching along this video with me. If you did, like I said, make sure you're clicking that subscribe button down below to stay up to date with what I post on this channel. And while you're at it, why not leave a little like on this video as well? It really does help me to see what you're enjoying watching so I can keep on making more videos like this. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day and I will see you in the next video.